before I get into the full review, just wanted to point you into the direction of my Patreon, because I have now introduced a new Discord server, and if you contribute just $1 or £1 a month on Patreon, you get invited instantly to the Discord server. So if you are interested in talking with all kinds of music nerds and music fanatics all day, every day about music, it doesn't even have to be about music, it can be about anything. It can be about anything you would like. If you are interested, then you get instant invitation to that server and we can talk every day. So yeah, wanted to point you in the direction of that. Check out the Patreon link, you will see it immediately, just $1 a month, and that is what you get. Also early access to big videos as well, and maybe some other things I'll add. We'll see, but Discord, it has begun. Now for the review. Jack White, a famous guitarist, famous singer, famous man from the White Stripes. They were one of the biggest rock bands of the 2000s. Easily, you couldn't even dispute that. They were huge, they were famous as hell, they had hits for days. They have songs that have lived long into the 2020s and will never die. Seven Nation Army, I don't think I'll ever not hear that song at some kind of sporting event. And even without that kind of pull that song has as a band, I think they were pretty legendary for what they were able to achieve with the albums that they put out. They were very consistent. There are still actually some albums of theirs I've not heard, but for the ones I have, they are a very good band, and I think any rock fan would tell you that, you know, that they're that kind of band. And of course, the 2010s era has been the Jack White show. He has been solo, he's been putting out all kinds of different types of albums, ranging from the blues rock stuff to the more like electronic, experimental leaning stuff that he gave us on his most recent album, Boarding House Reach. My infamous review of that did not go down too well. I will say it's been quite a while since I played that album though, so, you know, maybe my opinion could have changed. I do want to go back to it now that the new album here has come out, Fear of the Dawn, because this blew me away. I was absolutely taken aback by the quality of music on this one, and it kind of makes me want to revisit his older albums to see if, in fact, I have changed my mind. This album instantaneously took me by surprise, taking me back. One of my favourite songs of the year so far, if I'm being totally honest with you. The buzzy guitars and the distortedness of the track, and how in your face it is. And the riff is just so down now, down now, down, down. So obviously indebted to classic rock and roll, but the Jack White twist with how the song also sounds like it's part of a different universe, and how he manages to just make such an interesting sound with his guitars. I mean, Jesus Christ, not only that, but it just rocks like crazy to me, man. This song sounds like it's on steroids at points as well, especially when it starts speeding up and it just goes chaotic towards the end. Oh, it's fantastic. His vocals on this are just so powerful as well. And then you get the title track immediately after, and the momentum, my friends, just keeps on going with this song. The way it goes into this track is fantastic. There's so much conviction to Jack's voice as well. That's one of the things I look for in rock music. Has the vocalist got a distinct voice that just carries a lot of weight and power? And Jack White brings that in absolute spades on this album. The solo as well, the guitar solo in the middle of this track is phenomenal too. God damn, I'm just immediately hooked with these tracks. Like, this right here is already setting itself up to be such a sensational rock album, and it doesn't let me down. Like, I'm so in awe of these first two tracks. I was worried that the rest of the album just wasn't going to live up, but it really does. It just continues to give such fantastic hooks and just great rock songs, to be honest. I mean, as basic as that sounds, The White Raven is just a continuation of what he's already doing on the first few tracks, with the unusual guitar textures that I was talking about, that kind of like Jack White-ism that's all over this album. It just sounds so strange, but it works so well. Then you've got Heidi Ho coming straight after this, man, with Q-Tip on it, which is just such an unusual feature for an album like this, but oh my god, he kills it. The continuation of the way he keeps saying Heidi Ho in that really very Q-Tip voice is just so fun. It's just so catchy. It's so strange. I don't even understand how they came about this, but it is just such a great moment on the album. And it's that kind of creative edge that I think Jack approaches his albums with that make songs like this stand out. Like, not many other rock artists or rock singers would be daring to make tracks like this, like with a Q-tip feature, or having those unusually abrasive in your face moments. That might be good, but there's just something different about the way Jack approaches it. It's the tones of the guitars, it's the buzziness of everything, it's how he's so willing to get a bit weird with his voice, he's so willing to get wacky with everything too. It just makes for such a great listen. What's the Trick, I think, is one of the best moments on this album too. You've got the really hectic instrumental, and then the way it like breaks down and he kind of brings in this like angsty delivery that reminds me of like something you'd expect from a Rage Against the Machine song like circa 1994. That kind of like almost rapping delivery that's a bit like angry and a bit pissed off. He brings that here too. It's almost like something Limp Bizkit would even do as well. Eosophobia is one of the best tracks as well. I could say it's about so many bloody songs, seriously. This track meaning the fear of dawn or daylight, which I guess is a bit of a common theme throughout the album. You know, he mentions dawn and daylight quite a bit. It's obviously the title of the album as well. Of course, this track is very on the nose with what it means. This one feels like such a jamming session, and then of course when he brings in like the hook as well, it sounds so good. My god, there's such an old school rock and roll feel to this, but then of course when he sings as well, he's so on point as well with that. God, man. I think the reprise of this song sounds good as well. I'm not entirely sure if it's needed, to be honest. It's pretty much a continuation of the same thing. Could this have just been at the end of the Eosophobia track and it could have just been a really long song? Maybe. I don't know. I like the way it sounds though, but yeah, just kind of more of the same, really. I will say as well, while I'm on a slightly negative note, Into the Twilight could have been a bit better too. I think there just needed to be more vocals and lyrics, because he's kind of just repeating the same thing, but the beefy and crunchiness of the track, the beefy bass, the crunchy drumming, man, it sounds fantastic. I just kind of would have hoped to have seen more ideas coming to the table, particularly on the lyrical front, but you know, apart from that, the song sounds fantastic. I just would have preferred the vocals to be a bit more present on this one. Morning, Noon and Night comes towards the end. I think this is a fantastic track as well. Very White Stripes, this one. I think the way he's singing, the way the chorus comes in, even some of the lyrics as well, feel like something that would have definitely made it onto a White Stripes album. I would say this is one of the only tracks that feels that way though, because everything else on this album just feels like it's such a step above, or not a step above in terms of quality, but just a step above in terms of like Jack reaching the next level of what he can achieve with his guitar tones, his delivery, the way the songs sound, the absolute feistiness of it all. This is the one track where it feels like actually he reins it in a bit more, and it could easily have ended up on something the White Stripes would have done like 20 years ago. But like I say, everything just feels like he's leveled up. He's leveled up his ideas. He's leveled up the ferocity, the velocity. This album, man, just strikes me so hard. I think it's just a truly impressive release from Jack White. And like I say, it's going to have to make me go back to his other albums to see if I was missing something. There's that weirdness and that edginess to this album that was definitely present on Boarding House Reach, but it just didn't click with me. Maybe now I've understood his vision with this one, I could go back to that one and maybe see what he was going for. Because this definitely is one to take you by surprise. Like I say, it's weird at times. He goes in odd directions with his vocals. The instrumentals are so packed and could be a bit too much depending if you're not in the right mood for it. But I think for me, this struck me at the right time. And every time I keep going back to it as well, I'm just getting so much from it. It's such a great album. I'm really shocked. I feel like this could rise in terms of what my score is by the end of the year. But I think for now an 8.5 is where I'm at. This is truly one of the best albums of the year. I think it's going to be one of the best rock albums of the year. And if anyone can beat this, I'll be very impressed. But I'm shocked. I'm shocked with this one. I am in awe of it. I think it is fantastic. The production is absolute quality. Jack's singing and his hooks are just at the absolute best. And yeah, this is phenomenal. I'm hoping I'm not in the minority with this one. I hope people absolutely love this as much as I do. I get the feeling people won't for some reason, but I'm not sure why I think that. But I really hope people do, because I get so much out of this. I get so much joy out of it. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments as well. If you agree with what I've said, if you disagree, tell me what your favourite track is. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my Patreon, like I said, to get involved in the Discord server that has just newly been created. Do have a good day and goodbye.